Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to take a look at a very strong team for the Open Ultra League. Also a very expensive one, of course, with the XL variant of Double as well as of the Deoxys defense. But we're going to try to take a look today at the Obstruct variant of Obstagoon. This team here that we're going to play right now was also in my top team video. Going to be linked at the end card as well as always for those Ultra League videos. Very strong team. Honestly, most likely the strongest team I have played so far in the Ultra League for at least this season. This team is insanely strong. Like, I can highly recommend you, if you have the Pokemon, please play this team. It is amazing. But now we're going to take a look at some gameplay here. We're going to have a pretty bad lead, I think it was for us, so we had to swap out into our double, and we're going to try to realign our Pokemon here right now. This is going to be our main objective, as we're going to be able to shield up the Moonblast. We don't really care too much. I think it was like a Jellicent in the lead or something. And we will be able to go ahead and go for a charge move here against the opponent, going to get the final shield. And they're gonna go for another charge move here, which is going to be the Meteor Mash. Doesn't knock us out, and yes, it was a Jellicent, which we can still even hit with a payback. The XL variant of Double is insanely overpowered. This Pokemon is insanely strong. Here we're going to see a 0 bubble by the opponent. They all know what they're doing. We're at like the 3100 rating area, and here we're going to see that they're going to have a LilyNiRiain hits in the back with Charm, double Charm line from the opponent, and we were still able to win even though we have a Dark type in the bag. But yeah, that's going to be it for the first game. Second game here, we're going to encounter Registeel. Even though we have a basically triple counter line, it's not the favorite Pokemon for me to face because it's just so insanely bulky. This Pokemon is just insanely strong. As you're going to see here right now, it just takes those moves like it's nothing. They don't care if it's like the fast move is super effective or not. Here, great play by them to go for the bait move first, as I am now basically going to be debuffed, and this is going to impact the matchup against the Talonflame as well. But we have a ton of energy still stored on our Deoxys, which we can take advantage now. We can go ahead and swap out now, go for the Rock Slide, and bait the opponent with that into going for one shield here, which is going to be very nice for us. And we see that they're gonna go ahead and go for the Brave Bird. This is something that we can still survive, but we sadly die on the Psycho Boost. And now we have to go back into our double. And because I know their first Pokemon there, I kind of wanted to try to go with a one shield advantage, or like for the one shield onto my Obstagoon here. And as you're going to see here, the final Pokemon going to be a Cresselia, which can be a little bit tricky, but now we're still going to have our Obstagoon for this matchup. And there's something weird happening here right now. And I saw that and I was like, this is most likely something that tells me about the moveset a little bit. They went for a Grass Knot here right now. And there is no real reason for them to do this unless they are not running Moonblast. And so I went for a lot of overfarm here, so I can still get two Night Slashes after my Obstruct boost here against the opponent's Registeel and seal the deal, because I'm fairly certain that they have the Moonblast, and we even get the double boost there for our attack. And yes, that they don't have the Moonblast. And yes, they're going to be able to forfeit there. They had most like the future side on this Pokemon, which of course is not really ideal on facing the Obstagoon. So next game here, we're going to have the Shadow Dragonite in the lead. Not really a lead that I like to see here for me, to be fair, but I can go ahead and go for one Rock Slide and now can take one move and go for one Psycho Boost. This is going to do a ton of damage against the opponent as well if they let this move go through, and they do allow me to go into my double, forcing me to use a shield here because Superpower going to hurt quite a bit, and they're going to swap out into the Virizion. This is not really a good matchup for me right now. This is going to be a very awkward one for us, as we can now go ahead and go for the Body Slam, but I'm fairly certain that they are going to run the Sacred Sword here, and that's going to do a ton of damage. They're most likely going to be able to farm me down, but it's very likely that they don't have Leaf Blade and just Stone Edge, so this might be a little bit of a better play for us, but it's going to be a very difficult game to still come back from here. But I'm going to let the move go through. It's going to be the Sacred Sword as expected. I can swap out immediately, and they're going to have a Registeel in the back. Now it's time for Obstruct. Obstruct is going to buff our defense and debuff the opponent's defense, which is going to be super valuable in this matchup in general, because you're going to see right now, they're going to have the double super effective Focus Blast, but it does not really matter if we're going to be able to get our double boost onto our defense. This is exactly what's going to happen here right now. We're going to be able to now take the Focus Blast for the first time ever, which is still going to do a ton of damage because it's double super effective. But like this, we're going to be able to at least go ahead and go for a charge move here. Right now, it's going to be the opponent's Virizion. We can still knock them out. We have a defense boost here again. They can go for another charge move to try to force the final shield of the opponent. I can swap out. They can still go to another fast charge move here as well. They have 1 HP, we have 1 HP, and we sadly just barely don't get the counter in. This was such a close battle, even though it was a pretty horrific one as well, in terms of like the matchups that we had with the Virizion against our Cheap in the back there, against our Bull, as well as the Registeel. Did a lot of damage still with the Focus Blast, even though with the double defense boost on our Obstagoon. But yeah, we can take a look here at the next game. We're going to see a Virizion in the lead. And I actually thought it would be a little bit of a better lead for our Deoxys, but of course now we're going to do some decent damage against them. But they're still going to get us fairly low here, and this is going to be very decent for the opponent, but they're going to swap out now into a Snorlax. And again, we can take advantage of Obstruct, because now our fast move is going to do more damage. We have to go for 2 charge moves anyway in order to knock them out. And like this, we're going to be able to get some more damage against the opponent, and they can go for the body slam. And usually Superpower would easily knock me out, even from like the rage I think beforehand. But with the defense buff here, we're going to be able to still survive the one, go for a charge move ourselves, and we can realign, which is going to be very nice for us, as now the Virizion comes back in. I can go for one Psycho Boost, that's going to force a shield by the opponent for sure. And we're going to be able to knock them out, and we're going to see the Obstagoon in the back, and that's going to be a very good matchup for us actually, which you might have not really expected here. We have a normal type against a Pokemon with counter, but of course they are double weak against fighting type moves, and my fast move was fighting type move. So we are looking fairly decent. We're going to out-spam them with Body Slam as well, which is going to be very nice. And like this, we're going to get the first shield from the opponent. They can get our shield here because we have to get them low with our fast move. And we're just trying to chip each other here the entire time. Trying to get also a little bit rid of the switch clock here, for me at least. And I will be able to just knock them out because the opponent decides to forfeit there basically. Next opponent, we're going to see a Alolan Sandslash in the lead, which is really decent for me, but let's take a look at this one. Hey, great, the game does not work, and you see me here doing something that I said in the video before. I disconnected my Go++. This is causing most of the lags, so that's definitely something that you have to do, but here now we're going to have a very big disadvantage. But I feel like my opponent maybe gave me some free fast moves there, or they also had the same amount of lag there. But of course, not really the best start to the game. One Body Slam would not knock them out, so I go for a payback here, and the risk was definitely paying back, as we're going to be able to now knock them out. And we can now go ahead and go for another payback against the opponent's Giratina, which of course is going to be a very decent matchup for us in general. But they're running Dragon Breath, and like this, I kind of want them to use some energy against my Deoxys. So I'm going to go ahead and go into my Deoxys first, which can go for a Psycho Boost as well, as this is going to do some damage as well. But of course, we're going to have a hard counter for both of the Pokemon they have in the back, with our Obstagoon in the back, so we're going to be fine here. This is going to do a ton of damage already. Okay, not really that much damage to be fair, but the opponent decides to forfeit now anyway, as there was nothing they can do. Obstagoon is a core breaker for a ton of teams right now. Like, the core of having a Ghost type and a Steel type is insanely common in the Ultra League, and here just Obstagoon takes advantage of this. We have another Steel type in the lead, very good for us. In comes the Charizard. This is exactly the matchup where we want to have the Charizard, and because they're going to have the their Sandslash there, we're going to be fine with our backline anyway. We have 2 Pokemon in the back that has a fighting type fast move, so we don't really have to care too much about our Deoxys here. Deoxys can just go ahead and go for those Rock Slides. We will be able to win this matchup for sure. They're going to most likely still hit me with one a Blast Burn afterwards. I think they outspeed me here now to the next charge move, and they sadly do. Maybe could have farmed up a little bit extra, but I just want to get rid of this Charizard, to be fair. Charizard is a pain to deal with if you don't have a water type on the team, but here we're going to be able to knock them out with our Deoxys, and we're going to see the Sandslash is coming back in here, I think, and we're going to swap out because we can just do it. Like, it doesn't matter. We have 2 Pokemon in the back that are both totally fine against Sandslash. Drill Run comes through, we're going to do some decent damage, but not really a ton. And I can go for one payback soon, as I actually get the extra free fast move in. And with that extra free fast moves, I think I can just go ahead and go for one Body Slam. But they're going to catch the move onto the Giratina. Great play by the opponent here, as they can go for the payback. And as you might have seen, I think it's going to be the Shadow Claw variant. They will not appreciate the Obstagoon in the back. Honestly, Obstruct Obstagoon core breaks so many teams right now. It is wild. We're going to see here right now the payback coming through. This is going to do some decent damage against the opponent. And we can swap out now into the Obstagoon, and this is going to be a good game. Next opponent, we have a very good lead for us, and we're going to see the Virizion coming in. And I'm sorry, but I feel like this might be the team that I showcased earlier on already for Aurora's double grass. So I'm going to stay in here for a little bit. It's going to be a leaf blade variant, which I said is better than what I played, but I couldn't play it because I don't want to get rid of the legacy move of Sacred Sword. But I like this. I expect the opponent to have the what's called Trevenant in the back, and Trevenant of course is an insanely good Pokemon to face for us. So let's see if they're actually going to have this in the back, because you can also play the same team with Buzzwole in the back, which would be a complete hard wall to us. So that's kind of it. So maybe let's see what they're going to have in the back. Do they copy the team that I played? Not that I invented the team or anything. This is something that was been around for like ages already. I don't claim any ownership on any team, but a team that I at least played on my channel. So let's take a look here. We're going to see that we can counter them down kinda. We can go back into our Deoxys, and I don't really want to play it too risky, so I go ahead and basically shield up one move there, now swap out into my Obstruct Obstagoon, as we can take the boosted Weather Ball here a little bit easier. You can farm them down, get some energy, and they have a Galissapod in the back, and this is exactly what I mean. They sometimes just have something different in the back there. As this Obstruct is coming through, gonna get the defense buff for me and the defense drop for the opponent. Still going to shield up the Exeter here right now, as you're going to see that the opponent now can take this move. Let's see what they're going to do here right now. They're going to go ahead and I'll let this move go through, which is going to do some decent damage now with Night Slash being buffed thanks to the defense drop of the opponent here. Exeter is not going to do enough damage to really threaten me here, and they're gonna swap perfectly into the Virizion. Great play by them, as we can go ahead and get the boost here. Obstagoon is boosting through the Ultra League right now. In comes another Exeter, doesn't knock me out. I can go for another Night Slash. They cannot farm me down because the fast move is doing exactly 1 damage here. We are buffed and is 4 times resisted. They still have to go for another charge move here on their own, and this Exeter is going to knock me out here right now, while they're going to have to eat this Psycho Boost. So, good game there. There's nothing this Pokemon can do anymore, and we can take a look at the final game of today. And we still have 2.5 minutes left. And this game is insane. Please stay tuned for this one, because the ending is wild. Like, super wild. Something that I have actually never encountered before and never seen before. While I make a mistake here, show went for the rocks at first, but this is a different story. The ending is definitely something I have never seen in Go Battle League so far. So definitely stay tuned for that one. But here we're going to encounter Superior in the lead. I'm going to swap out. I didn't want to get debuffed here, so I went and let the moves go through on my lead first. But of course, you're going to get debuffed as soon as you're going to swap out. In comes now a Mantine. The opponent's team seems to go for the, what's called for trying to debuff the opponent so much that you're going to win by just timeout. I think the opponent just tries to have a timeout strat here, to be fair with their team. They have already double debuff on their lead, and now they have Bubble Beam on their Mantine, which is a super bulky Pokemon already, and now it can debuff your attack even further, so I feel like that's like kind of a timeout team in general. So here we're going to still be able to snipe them with one Rock Slide of the Deoxys, going to get the shield, which is nice. They're most likely going to go for the Bubble Beam in order to get some more drops onto me. And we're going to see now the Umbreon in the back, which kind of tells me already that Obstagoon going to have a great time here today, because Obstagoon going to be able to counter basically the entire opponent's team right now. We have the Mantine low enough for Obstagoon, we have the Superior low enough for Obstagoon, and we have an Umbreon which can only go for last resort. So now we can go straight into the Obstagoon. I don't want to give the opponent too much time here, because I realized they really try to just time me out here right now, as they go for a bait first, which is very smart, but they, I guess, try again just to go ahead and try to waste some of my time here, more than trying to get some damage onto me. And I can go for more Night Slash here right now. This is going to get the shield. I'm going to shield up as well. They're going to go ahead and go for the Leaf Tornado. Gonna get the double debuff again. I have to swap out. I have to go for the Body Slam. And now we're gonna go into the dicey phase here, because we're going to now get taken down here by the Superior. Of course, my opponent gonna go for another Leaf Tornado here. I will be able to farm them all the way down, but the time is ticking down. We're going to see on top here already 18 seconds left. I can go for the Night Slash right now, but this is a CMP tie. Every move takes 10 seconds, basically, so I'm going to lose after their opponent's move come through here, right? For whatever reason, I was able to click that Night Slash, even though it was CMP tie, in between our charge moves, knock them out, and win the game by timeout. For whatever reason it's happened, this is not how it's supposed to happen, but I gladly take it, and that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already. Top Teams Ultra League on the top right corner, and also another video on the middle screen, so check them out. And also, if you want coaching, there's also a panel on the screen right now, so check those out. See you then. Bye bye.